Okay, so we're gonna start our mjederah. Lea's gonna help us. Mjederah is brown lentils with rice and a lot of onions, and it's so yummy. It's one of my favorite foods. Okay, Lea, can you show us the measuring cup?
This?
Nope, just hold the cup.
Can
you put it in the pot? We're gonna start with a cup of lentils.
In here?
Mm-hmm.
But this?
Yep, just dump it inside. Okay.
More?
Yep. We're going everywhere. It's okay. Just dump them all in there.
More?
Okay. Now I need you to dump all this water. This is, so 1 cup of lentils, 2 cups of water. And what we're gonna do is bring this to a boil. Thanks, Lea. And we're gonna let it cook partially. So once it starts boiling, we'll just lower the heat to medium. And we're just gonna cook it about 10 minutes. We don't want it to be cooked all the way, just partially. So while those are still coming to a boil, I've got a cup of rice that's soaking. And then for this recipe, you want to chop up some onions. You can just dice them, and we're gonna saute them in a minute. But you want like, when I say a lot. So maybe up to 4 cups. I would probably do another onion or 2, but I'm out. So you can adjust it. It's not gonna ruin the recipe if you only do 2 cups of diced onion. But if you really want to get that taste in there, do 4 cups of onion. Lea, do you like onions? Yes, you do. Okay, so the onions are cut up. My eyes are watering.
Mama,
this is boiling, so I'm turning it to medium, and I'm just gonna let that be like about 7 to 10 minutes. That way, before I turn it off. You do want to measure your water because we're keeping the water. We're not draining it. Okay, so you can use any oil. It doesn't have to be olive oil. You could use vegetable oil, canola, whatever. Up to 1/4 cup, depending on if you're doing all 4 cups of onion.
What's on right here?
Okay, sorry. So I'm gonna add my onions. I'm gonna saute. Well, I'm gonna sprinkle them with salt, and then I'm going to saute them until they are golden brown. So other recipes, I've been saying translucent. These, you really want them to be golden brown because that color is important for the entire recipe. And I'm using this pot because everything is going to eventually end up in this pot. Okay, so I've got these going. Those are off on the side. I'm out of regular onions, so these are from our garden. But if you have just another extra onion, what you're going to do is slice it very thinly, and that's going to be fried separately, so it's like a crunchy topping. I'm going to attempt to do that with these very small onions. Okay, so these are caramelized. Let me turn that off so you can hear me. And so those are nice and brown and caramelized. That took about 10 to 15 minutes while I was doing other things. And I'm going to add 2 cups of water. So that's not the same 2 cups of water that were here, but I'm going to add 2 cups of water here. And I'm going to let that boil for about 5 minutes, and you'll see there'll be a nice golden color because the onions are caramelized. I've sliced up these onions here. They're so cute. They're usually not this tiny. So a regular onion strip is going to be about 3 times the size of these, but we're going to make it work. Okay, so this is boiling. You can see how it has turned the water to a golden color. We're going to dump in all of the lentils with the liquid. So you're keeping the liquid from the partially cooked lentils. And I'm just going to give that a stir so that the onions are evenly distributed. Then I'm going to add our rice. So this has been rinsed. And then I'm going to mix that in as well. Okay. I'm going to bring it to a boil. So I'm going to put it on high just for a minute. Then I'm going to, once it's boiling, I'm going to put it on low. And I'm going to cook it for about 20 to 30 minutes until it's fluffy and delicious. At this stage, you can add a sprinkle more of salt because we've added a bunch of lentils and rice, and then you can add some pepper to taste. So there's really no flavoring in here other than like the main flavoring is onion, and that's important, is the caramelized onion. So you don't need a lot of ingredients: salt, pepper, onion, rice, lentils. So let that come to a boil, cover it 20-30 minutes on low. Okay, so this is covered and cooking. While I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and get these onion strips done so that they can cool down for the topping. This really is a completely optional step, but it just makes the food taste so good and adds a little bit of a crunchy element. So with my onion strips, I sprinkled them with salt so that they can start sweating and releasing some liquid. And then in a moment here, I'm gonna squeeze as much liquid as I can out of them before deep frying them in oil. So our oil is really hot. We've squeezed the liquid out of our onions, and then we're just gonna throw this in there to get golden brown. I'm gonna use a slotted spoon to scoop them out, and then I've got a paper towel over here to drain the extra oil. And these are just so good on top of your rice. Okay, our mjederah is ready. Oh, steam. So you'll see, just like rice, it's not going to have any liquid. It shouldn't have any liquid at the bottom. This is probably about 25 minutes. And you can see onions, you can see rice, you can see lentils. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that to my plate over here. Okay, you're going to serve this with salad, or you can serve it with yogurt, or both. So this is perfectly good as is, but to make it even better, we've got our crunchy onions, and we're gonna add those on top. Okay, and then you eat it with salad or yogurt. This is really, like, it's so simple, it's so easy, and it's really the best meal ever.